Have you ever noticed that the moment that you're about to make a decision, even a small one, something in you freezes and you start asking everyone else what they think? Here's a wild statistic you probably didn't know. The average adult makes over 35,000 decisions every single day. Yet 72% report doubting themselves on the majority of them. Not because they don't know what they want, but because their nervous system literally doesn't trust them to keep themselves safe. Today, I'm going to show you the real reason that you have struggled to make decisions, why you second guess yourself, and how to rebuild unshakable self-trust, even if you have spent your entire life outsourcing your power. And make sure that you watch until the end, because the final step I'm going to give you is the one that changed my entire life. And honestly, it's the one that no one ever talks about. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Or if you are new here, my name is Nina Elise, and I am an embodiment and growth mentor and a somatic practitioner. I teach you how to view the world differently by understanding how your brain, your body, and your emotions work, so that you can stop overthinking, regulate your nervous system and your emotions, and create a life that actually feels peaceful, aligned, and authentic to you. If that resonates, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos designed to help you intentionally create a life that you love and deserve. I'm going to start off by telling you a story. I used to be that girl. Let me just call someone real quick girl. Every single decision I made followed this exact script. Step 1, feel unsure. Step 2, ask someone else who I thought was smarter than me what they thought. Step 3, follow their advice, overriding my initial gut response. Most likely because I was too scared to actually listen. And lastly, question myself for weeks and sometimes even months, wondering if I messed everything up. Every single time that I went to my friends, to people I put on pedestals, to coaches I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on. And the hardest part to admit is that I trusted strangers more than I trusted myself. And the thing is, I was not doing this consciously. It wasn't like I just woke up in the morning thinking, let me just completely abandon myself and give all of my power away today. It was just based on survival. And I genuinely believed that other people had answers that I did not. I even sat in countless ayahuasca ceremonies, thinking that maybe there's this big mystical answer out there that's finally going to tell me what to do with my life. But the truth was very quiet and not super flashy. It was much more simpler. It was already inside of me. I just didn't know how to hear it, to trust it, or to honor it. I didn't think I was worthy of having the type of authority that everyone else seemed to have. And if you relate to this, even just a little, the good news is that you are not indecisive and there is nothing wrong with you. You are just simply conditioned to distrust yourself. So let's talk about why, and then we'll get into how you can start to shift into deep self-trust. There are 3 core reasons people struggle with self-trust. The first one is that your nervous system learned that your choices were not safe. Maybe growing up, you were told that you were too much, that what you said didn't make sense, that you were wrong, you shouldn't feel a certain way, stop being dramatic, you need to be considerate of others, or something along the lines of, that's not what we do. And because of that, your brain learned that when I choose for myself, bad things happen or people will not accept me. So now, as an adult, decisions create a physiological threat response, not because your decision is bad or wrong, but because the body associates independence with danger or rejection. It's a response to ensure that you feel safe, that you're part of a tribe, and are loved so that you are not alone. Next, you are trained to prioritize other people's needs over your own. So people pleasers are not indecisive. They are just afraid of being judged, rejected, hurting someone, making the wrong move that results in unknown consequences, losing money, or disappointing someone. So the mind thinks, if I cater to and listen to what everyone else thinks is right, then I'll be safe. But sometimes safe is suffocating. And lastly, your intuition has been drowned out by noise. Most people think that they are indecisive because they don't know what they want. But in actuality, you do know. You have always known. You've just learned to ignore that quiet voice inside of you over the loudness of everyone and everything around you. Ultimately, indecision is not a lack of clarity. It is a lack of self-trust. Let me say that again because it is huge. Indecision, knowing what you want, it's about not trusting yourself to handle the outcome. That is why the more that you try to figure it out, the more stuck that you feel, because it is not a thinking problem. It is a safety and a survival problem. And when you start viewing decision making through the lens of nervous system safety, suddenly everything starts to make sense. So now you are probably thinking, okay, Nina, but how do I actually build self-trust? Like, how do I feel grounded? How do I stop second guessing everything? And how can I make decisions on my own without asking everyone I know what to do? And here is exactly how. And remember, watch all the way to the end because the last step is the one that completely changed my life. Step 1. Start with micro decisions. So don't start with things like, should I quit my job? Should I leave my relationship? Should I move to a new city? Start with, do I want coffee or tea? Do I want to take a walk or do I need to rest? Do I want to say yes to this tiny thing? Do I want to wear the black shirt or the blue one? And simply ask yourself, what do I want? And then actually listen. And if nothing comes up right away, that's okay. Decision making is a muscle. It is not that it doesn't work. You're just simply out of practice. Step 2, let the answer come to you. This is where people sabotage their healing. They try to force the answer. But when you force, you are in survival mode, not intuition. So instead, just ask the question, then go live your life. You might be in the shower or on a walk or driving, then suddenly the answer pops up. Because sometimes clarity is not something that you chase or that you force. It is something that you receive. And when you stop grasping, answers come to you in the perfect timing. It is your thoughts around it not being so is what creates unnecessary suffering for yourself. Step 3, learn to recognize fear as protection, not truth. So when fear comes up, your thoughts may sound like, don't do it. You will fail. You're wrong. It is not safe. But what it's really saying is, I am trying to protect you from something that happened in the past. And this is just your subconscious running on an old program. You might even have a physical response, like feeling nervous, your hands might shake, you might feel anxious. And this is just your body's way of signaling to you that all it needs is to feel safe. And guess what? You don't need to fight fear. You don't even need to obey it. It's something as simple as observing what is coming up and not creating stories around it. So when you sit with what is coming up, over time, you create space for those thoughts and physical reactions to be heard and experienced. And then eventually let them go. Step 4, create the belief. Every decision I make is the right one. This is a step that changed everything for me. I started telling myself, every single decision that I make takes me closer to the life that I want. And I would say things like, my choices always lead to clarity. And I cannot make a wrong decision because every decision is in alignment with my end goals. When you speak to yourself like this, it reprograms your subconscious to stop scanning for danger and start scanning for what could go right. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. We walk around acting like we're out here making decisions in some isolated vacuum. Like it's just you against the world trying not to screw up your life. But that is the biggest illusion of all. I want you to think about the literal perfection of the body that you are living in. Your heart beats without you asking. Your cells regenerate without you thinking. Your neurons fire 100 times per second, coordinating billions of processes so you can listen to just this one sentence. Your entire existence is built on a level of intelligence so incomprehensible that science still cannot fully explain it. Quantum physicists estimate that every particle in your body is entangled with particles across the universe, meaning that what happens here instantly affects something over there, no matter the distance. So do you really think that there isn't some divine order running through your life? Do you really believe that you, a constellation of consciousness wrapped in a human form, somehow got excluded from the intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and ocean tides and photosynthesis and gravity and the birthing of stars? Come on. Look at the synchronicities in your life. The right person that you met at the right moment, the job that fell apart only so that the better one could appear, the intuitive nudge that you followed that led to something that you never expected. Those are not coincidences, and they are not random or luck. They are the natural byproduct of an interconnected universe where nothing, absolutely nothing, is separate. And whether you call it God or source, the quantum field, consciousness, or the infinite intelligence of your higher self, that force is what you are plugged into. And after listening to all of this and knowing if the entire universe operates through precision, coherence, and interconnectedness, why would your decisions be the exception to the rule? Why would your path not be guided? Why would your life not be supported? Why would your choices not lead you exactly where you are supposed to go? So when you say, every decision I make is the right one, you are not being delusional or bypassing reality. You are simply becoming aware of it and aligning with it. Because the moment that you trust yourself, you are not just trusting you. You are trusting the intelligence that moves through you. The same intelligence that moves through all things. And when you tap into that, your life will rearrange around you in ways that you could not even imagine before. Trust is not just a mindset. It is an energetic alignment with truth and with oneness, with the fact that you are supported, guided, held, and deeply connected to something far bigger than you. And that is why your decisions can never be wrong, because you are never making them alone. I went on a little bit of a rant there, but knowing all of this now, how does making decisions feel for you now? A little less stressful, right? And if this is resonating, make sure to subscribe because I release new videos every single week to help you navigate life by exploring different perspectives, just like this one. All right, now to the next step. Step 5, your values decide everything for you. And this is a pretty big one. Most people struggle to trust themselves because they don't know who they are. When you are not connected to your values, you are making decisions from fear, from pressure, people pleasing, guilt, and past conditioning. But when you are clear on what matters to you and how you want to feel and what your non-negotiables are and what your long-term vision is, then decision making becomes much, much easier because the decision is already made. You are simply aligning and taking action with who you are without needing to check in and question everything. If you need help figuring out your values or identity, I am actually creating a step-by-step video on how to find them. So I will link the video right here once it is live. Step 6, sit with your emotions without judging them. This does not mean that you need to dig into your past or relive old trauma to heal your self-trust. But you do need to learn how to sit with discomfort. You do this by simply noticing what comes up, breathing through it, letting it move through you, and just observing it without judgment as much as you can. This is where a lot of inner child work just naturally happens. Not from trying to heal or fix yourself, but from simply giving yourself the emotional presence that you never had. Your inner child does not want perfection. It just wants to feel safe, to be seen, and to express his or herself. And lastly, step 7, stop outsourcing your power. This is where everything changed for me. Where I stopped asking for advice, stopped trying to get permission, stopped needing someone else to reassure me, and instead I started asking, what would the most honest version of me choose? Not necessarily the safest, or the people-pleasing version, or the socially acceptable version, the honest version. And when you start choosing from her, your whole life changes. To close, think of your life like a movie. Your internal world, your beliefs, your emotions, your nervous system is the actual movie reel. And your external reality is just the screen that the movie is projected on. But most people stand in front of the screen, trying to rearrange the actors, the background, the scenes, the circumstances, instead of just turning around and changing the actual script of the movie. And when you learn to shift your inner world, the outer world has no choice but to change. Here is what I want you to know. You can rebuild self-trust on your own. You can absolutely do all of the inner work. You can definitely heal outdated patterns. But if you have been trying to do it alone for months or years, and you still feel stuck or overwhelmed or paralyzed, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're human. And humans heal faster with support. So if you want guidance, clarity, and someone who can actually help you navigate the emotional, the somatic, and identity transitions that rebuild self-trust from the inside out, the link to apply for my one-on-one mentorship is in the description and right here on the screen. It is deep, it is personalized, and it will absolutely change your life in the best way possible. So I'm going to leave you with this. A few weeks ago, I was watching a little kid at the beach trying to learn how to surf. He kept falling over and over again before he even stood up. But what struck me wasn't his persistence. It was actually the moment that he looked back towards the shore where his dad was standing. His dad wasn't yelling instructions, he wasn't correcting him, and he wasn't telling him he was surfing or doing anything wrong. He was simply just standing there. He was super calm, he was patient, he was smiling, and just trusting that his son would eventually figure it out. And because the kid saw this, he felt safe to continue trying again and again and again. And that is what self-trust feels like. You don't need someone shouting instructions at you. You need someone who holds the space for your greatness even before you see it. Someone who trusts your potential so deeply that you start trusting it too. And that is the moment that everything shifts. And now that you are ready to rebuild self-trust, the very next step is learning how to set boundaries, because both honestly go hand in hand. Without boundaries, your nervous system will always default back to fear and self-doubt. So watch this video right here. It is your next step for creating the life that you actually want. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. I will see you all in the next one.